his agenda.
Well, if you're good to go, we'll probably.
Guys, we're ready to roll. We are recording, so whenever you're all ready.
I want to welcome everyone back to the Green Hour Podcast. We're live at the Concordia Annual Summit during Climate Week, New York City. I'm sitting here with Rebecca Theodore, United Nations International Reporter. Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so very much for having me.
So I think the first question I'll ask, could you talk a little bit about yourself and the work that you do?
Thank you so very much for that. My name is Rebecca Theodore. I'm an international journalist. I cover the platform of national security, politics, human rights, and the environment. I'm also a global international speaker where I cover industries, especially the mining industry as it is today, and also I'm a professional writer as well.
So tell me about the mining industry, because I know right now this is a huge topic of discussion, looking at emissions, as well as how do we transition to a cleaner future.
The mining industry at the moment is very profound. It's very deep. We've heard the president speak about drill baby drill.
Yeah.
We've heard organizations like the Greenpeace movement, which is against it. I look at the mining industry as having many advantages and disadvantages. Why do I say advantages and disadvantages? Because we need lithium. We need lithium to power our cell phones. Lithium is the reason why we are here today. And we know that the world's supply of lithium will be exhausted as early as next year. Right? We need lithium to power our laptops. We need lithium for our domestic needs, for our cameras, our battery devices. So what do? On the other hand, we also are entering the age of electric cars where we need aluminum, we need cobalt. Where are we going to get it from? So it's, for me, I wrote an article on mining as the battle between good and evil, right? There are advantages and there are disadvantages. In the meantime, the progress of humanity must go on. So what do? That's the question I've always asked. Do you prefer to just say, well, okay, because mining has so many disadvantages, we are not going to go into drill formula, or are we just going to say, well, okay, we need it. It's for isotopes in hospitals. We need that. So what are we going to do? It's the progress of humanity at large.
Yeah, I think the mining sector, I mean, we talked earlier about critical rare earth minerals and that supply chain, tying that to energy security. Because if you look at the stats, I think China dominates all the processing of rare earth minerals. And we need some of these for clean energy technology. So that's also a topic on energy security. So could you talk a little bit about that as well?
Energy security for me is also very important. I look at energy, environment, and transitions. They all go hand in hand. We cannot have one without the other. I remember giving a speech at the Air Canada Center in Montreal, Canada, some time ago. And my question wasn't always with the innovations and economic resilience. I look at sustainability at the moment not as an abstract word, but as a strategic advantage. Energy transition is very important. The move from fossil fuel into modern methods of energy. How are we going to go there? How are we going to do it? So for me, when we look at energy transition and environment, it also goes with stewardship, our behavior on the environment, eco-citizenship and sustainability, they go hand in hand together.
So I guess that question, I mean, we can kind of pivot into the energy transition. And I would just ask you, from your work and your experience, what are some of the biggest misconceptions you encounter around the global energy transition?
Around the global energy transition, what I encounter is what I have just discussed, the need to move from where we are to go beyond, right? And to do that, we have some misfortunes here where, as I said, environmental companies are saying, we cannot do geothermal activity because it's going to destroy the earth. We cannot drill because it's going to destroy the earth. But at the same time, we need progress, right? So I think we should just look at the best, put our best foot forward, take the path like travel, and for the survival of humanity.
So another question I have for you is, how do you see the balance between economic development and environmental stewardship evolving? I mean, you talk about mining, right? This is a huge conversation because you need mining for a lot of energy needs, but that might hurt the environment. So when we talk about economic development, tying that with environmental stewardship, how do you see those two things coming together and evolving?
This is a very profound question here because evolution is not a one-way process. It takes time. We've come a long way from one generation to the next. Presently, we are in the age of innovative technologies. We are in the age of AI. I'm very concerned about energy security in the age of AI. And for us to go forward, we have to also involve artificial intelligence, innovative technologies in energy transitions as well.
But with AI comes massive data centers, right? And as we see data centers come in the middle of the carbon, and those can actually affect climate change. So how would you say to that too? Some of the naysayers.
I'm very concerned about the price of carbon. I'm concerned about the price of the green economy, right? Because we have to understand too, we are living footprints, right? Footprints that future generations like Gen Z, like Alpha are going to marvel at us. What did we do? How did we come that far? What have we left behind? The future generation roadmap I'm very concerned about as well. So what kind of legacy are we leaving for them? It's very important.
We talk to a lot of people and I ask them, why do you work in sustainability? Why are you in the environmental movement? And a lot of times people say it's for the future generations, right? It might be for your kids, it might be for your family, but they want to leave the world better than they found it. So final question I'll ask, and it kind of ties back to that last question we had, but what examples give you hope that countries and industries can accelerate towards a low emissions future?
I look at geothermal energy, right? Geothermal energy comes from the earth, right? But again, we have to go back into mining. We have to get it out of the earth. I look at AI as well in using energy security to get this balance. So for me, if we can take that step forward, I think we have accomplished something in our modern technological age where everybody is talking about tariffs, everybody is talking about import and exports, and how are we going to balance the transformation in our global economy where trade is concerned if we do not take that step. Again, I say the step is to travel.
Well, Rebecca, we can't thank you enough for joining us today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Go.
Was good?
Good.
That was fantastic.
That was really good.
Well, thank you so much.
And got that.